This is Simon Page reporting for Sports View London. We're at McGuigan's gym today talking to Carl Frampton. How are you, mate?
How you doing, man?
All good, thank you. Starting off with this training camp this time round, would you say because you're training for a world title, you're training that little bit harder, or?
Possibly. You know, I always train hard for every fight because every fight's super important in this pro game. If you lose a fight, you go back away a year and a half probably. So I train hard for every fight, but yeah, I've probably trained a little bit harder for this one. It's been a slightly longer camp as well, just because it's a world title fight. Yeah.
And how does it feel to be headlining the biggest sporting event Belfast ever seen?
Honestly, it's massive. It's good. You know, it's a humbling feeling. We're building a stadium in the Titanic Quarter, which is pretty around that area. It's just starting to thrive at the minute. It's really getting built up, and it's a good part of Belfast. You know, the newest part of Belfast, and we're building a 16,000 seated stadium there. I just can't imagine what it's going to be like.
No.
You know, I've boxed in front of 9,000 in the Odyssey Arena, and the atmosphere is incredible. So 16,000 outdoors, it's going to be great, really well.
You got a picture in your head, Carl? You just can't imagine.
Yeah, I've got something in my head, but you know, there's ideas of what's going to happen on the night getting through at me all the time, and it's going to be one that people won't forget. And I think it's going to be, you know, I think it's approaching 30 years since Barry beat Pedrosa. People are still talking about that fight. You know, I was there at Loftus Road, or I watched that on TV. I think I would like my fight to be the same, you know, 25, 30 years time, people in the pub still talking about it.
Definitely, 100%. And do you think, we spoke about this before, but do you think Kiko Martinez can change and adapt the same way you can in a fight?
No, he's got one style, and it's a good, exciting style. It's worked for him so far. He comes forward and he's aggressive, and he throws hard punches, and every punch is a hard shot. So he's a dangerous fighter, but he'll not bring anything that I haven't seen before. I don't think he's going to bring anything new to his game. You know, he's 30 odd fights into his career, and each fight it's been the same style. So I know what to expect, and I know how to deal with it now because I've fought him already. And even in sparring with me, when I spar someone, the second spar, after the first spar, I'm always better. Yeah. So I can just adapt to people's styles, and if a first spar is competitive, the second spar I'll beat them up, and it's going to be the same on fight night, I think.
As far as support goes, I mean, obviously you're on Twitter a lot. Have you been overwhelmed with the fact that you've got people not only coming from, coming south for the fight, you've got people, north, you've got people coming from London, a lot of people I know coming from London, you've got people coming from Scotland, Manchester. Yeah,
there's people from all over the British Isles and the south of Ireland too, but I had a guy from America got in touch with me the other day. He's coming over from the fight, so it's incredible. It really is, and there's definitely a buzz around, and people are excited about this. And I think not just because of me boxing for a world title, but the whole event. You know, it's a brand new stadium, being purposely built for a boxing event. Boxing's a sport that everyone loves back home, but they've kind of been deprived of big nights over recent times, you know. And I want to bring them back, and all I have to do is beat this guy, beat Kiko Martinez, and you know, long may it continue. We'll have many more big nights of boxing to come in Belfast.
No doubt. Spoke to Shane about it just a minute ago. Your timing and range against Cazares seemed to be there in a blink of an eye. As soon as that bell went, you were on him, you timed him. Every shot you hit him with, you seemed to hurt him. How must that feel?
It's it's good. It's one of my best attributes. I think my distance control is very good. Obviously, I can punch very hard as well. But I was just on it from the ball, you know, from the start against Cazares. I knew I needed to be like that. I didn't want to have a slow start. He likes to slow the pace down, and you know, being honest, he wasn't the freshest fighter in the world. But so I knew I needed to start at a high pace. I was expecting the fight to go a bit further, to be honest. But I hit him with a good shot. He obviously misjudged the count. Because he was on his knee when he was counted out. I think he wanted to get up. I don't think he backed out of the fight. I think he just misread the count. But rules are rules, and if you're not on your feet at 10, the fight's off. I think he's probably lucky that he didn't get back up, because I think I had to properly bingo him, you know, if he had it. There was plenty of time left in the round, so it might have been, it's probably a good idea that he stayed down.
Obviously we were there on that night, and a lot of people that have been to a lot of your fights said that they never, that's the loudest they've ever heard that. And
it's getting bigger and better every time, you know, it really is. And you know, these fights, you know, even against Parody, the atmosphere was crazy, and he's not really well known at all. Cazares being a final eliminator for the WBC, it was a big deal, a big fight. But the atmosphere just gets bigger and better every time. This one's now for a world title against a guy who isn't really liked in Belfast. He's respected, but people want me to, you know, do the same job that I did on him the last time. So it's going to be even better this time. This is for a world title, you know, and the atmospheres that we're creating back home without actually fighting for a world title. You know, I'm not a world champion yet, and to be world champions would happily take these atmospheres, but they can't get them. So it's going to be special, I think, once I win that world title, and then when I defend it many times after.
Most definitely. Do you see pressure on Kiko coming to Belfast as a champion?
I'd say there's more pressure on me, because people are expecting me to beat him, you know, and I've already done it. They're just thinking it's a foregone conclusion that I'm going to win this fight, but that's not the case. You know, this is going to be a tough fight, and Kiko's out for revenge, which makes him dangerous. He's a very emotional person. He lets things get to him, which also makes him dangerous. And he wants to win. But so I think the pressure's all on me. He's the champion. He's defended his title a couple of times. He's come to my backyard. They're building a stadium for me. You know, everyone's getting behind me. The local people, the government, have got behind me now as well. So people are expecting me to win. I don't want to let them down, and I'm expecting to win myself, but I know it's not going to be easy.
No,
I think the pressure's on me, but I can deal with it, and I perform best under pressure, I think.
Yeah. On a lighter note, the headlines in the last few days about a certain promoter.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't really want to comment too much on the issue. Wasn't expecting that question, but you know, each their own. If I don't really know much about the situation. I haven't really been reading up on it, but each their own, mate. You know, just live and let live. That's
the reason I ask is because I was copied into a tweet with a picture of you.
Oh yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
I know the one you're talking about. That was Halloween one year. I done that for a laugh. But I don't know. I was just for a laugh.
Carl, listen, mate, I know you're starving hungry, so I'm going to let you go now.
All right, no problem.
Wish you all the best on September 6th, mate, and as always, we'll be there supporting you.
Good man, cheers, Simon.